Very good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome back everyone to this 10 days Python series. So today we're gonna go and see very interesting topic in the world of Python. Starting with one of the very interesting topics, specifically, guys, if we want to do something with the help of code, right? So we are writing a code and a Python, right? With the help of code, if we want to do something on the top of file, right? For example, whatever data we have inside the file, if I want to read it over here, right? So I can read this data inside the particular file. I can do also with the help of Python as a code, we can go and read the data inside this particular file, right? So we have multiple different options. For example, in this file, if I want to write the data also, so multiple read operation, write operation, maybe append operation, right? So all these operations we can go and perform it using Python over here. So with the help of Python, if I want to technically go and create something, the content inside the file, is this topic is guys technically called as file handling over here. So file handling is one of the topic which we want to see it today here, right? So in this case, what we want, technically, this is my core repository. This is my folder where we guys are maintaining all the entire code over here. So in this case, what I want to create a new text file over here, the text document. Maybe let me give this a text document a name as a data.txt. So in this text document, I want to enter any text over here, maybe welcome. So if this is manually we are entering, I am entering it manually, welcome all. Right. So this is one of the text. I did save this code. So I just said Control S and save this code. So this is manually we guys have done it. The same thing if I want to do it with the help of Python. So in this case, we have guys one function available in Python, which is technically called as open function, right? So I'm telling here this function, open the file. So syntax is something like this. We have to always write a open function to open any file using Python. So I'll give here the file name. Maybe my file name is data.txt, right? And again, we have to tell here whether we want to open this file for reading the information, whether we want this data for writing the information, whether we want to append anything inside it. So we have different mode, read mode, write mode, append mode. So here we have to select the mode. So I'm opening this particular file to read the content over here. So using Python, I want to open a file, read the entire content inside it, and print that particular content in my terminal over here in my Jupyter notebook, right? So it's technically we use it again. Lot of use cases we have of this. Technically, in the near future, whenever you go and work in the companies, at that particular time, you guys might be using some log files over there, and we might use file handling for analyzing the logs over here, right? For creating the data pipelines, if you want to create it, maybe you want to perform a raw text, then you have to convert text file or CSV file, any of the pipelines if you want to create it. At that time also we can use file handling a lot. This is very, very widely used. Some of the use cases I've told you about it, right? So now what I want to launch my Jupyter notebook in this current terminal. So I'm opening my terminal here and launching Jupyter notebook in this case. Sorry, the spelling is wrong. It's Jupy, Jupyter notebook. I did open this Jupyter notebook, and this notebook is open in this particular tab. Now here in this tab, I want to create a new Python file, maybe day 4 as a file here, day 4 dot Python file here in this case, right? And now what I want to open this particular file. The file name which I created is data.txt, and I want to read the content inside it. So this technically, let me give the topic name on the top. So let me make this as a markdown, and let me give it here as just a name. I'm giving it here file handler. A simple word, a file handling as a name. It's a topic name. So I'm opening here the file with the open keyword, open function. Again, it's a built-in function available in Python. So which file you want to open, you can write that file name here. So example guys, अगर आप लोग आपकी फाइल जो क्रिएट कर रहे हो वो सेम फोल्डर में है जहां पे आपके जुपिटर नोटबुक की फाइल क्रिएटेड है, तो डोंट हैव टू गिव द कंप्लीट पाथ, यू जस्ट कैन गिव द फुल नेम ओवर हियर. Otherwise, if it is located maybe in my D drive over there, on Jupyter Notebook, I'm running it from this documents folder, right? So at that time, maybe you bring that file in the same folder or you give the complete path over here, right? So, but I want to give the same file. They are present in my same folder. So what I'm doing, I'm opening this file data.txt, right? And opening this particular file in the read mode, right? And let me save this in one file over here. So we can rename it as a maybe file here. File as a variable. I'm opening this file, right? So I'm open this particular file. Now I want to read the content inside it. So inside this variable, all the capabilities this file has will automatically come up. So if you will do file now, so file dot and tab, so you can see a lot of functions available over here. You will find, do you want to read, do you want to read lines, do you want to do what? So I said I want to read the lines over here, right? The read function I am running it, file.read. What will happen if I run this function, or exactly whatever text I have written it inside that particular file, automatically this text come up over here, which means technically I have gone open this file, read the content inside the file, and then it's always and always good practice guys, whenever you are opening a particular file with any of the program, so always close that particular file also. You can use close function to close it. Close it. This is technically we have opened the file in the read mode, right? But there is one more keyword in Python which is technically called as with keyword. So by chance, in case in your case you forget to close the file, so there is a chance your one program is already using this file and you use it in another program also. At that time you will not be able to use that particular file. Also, it is always good practice, whatever any program is opening a file, should be closed also whenever the work is done, right? So there is one keyword, for example, even though if you forget to close the file also guys, so in that case we use this keyword called with keyword. What is this keyword will do? This keyword will do open exactly same code I'm writing. So I'm telling open the file called data.txt. Now open this file also in the read mode over here, right? Maybe alias I can give it over here as a file. That's it. So it's a name or alias I'm giving it. As alias means is nothing but a kind of a nickname I'm giving it over here to this particular file. Now what I want to read this particular file. So file dot read function is there. I want to save this output inside one variable. So maybe I will save one variable called content. So again, print this content. इस कंटेंट को प्रिंट कर लेंगे यहाँ पे, and as soon as I run it, so you see welcome all over here. And now we don't have to worry about closing this particular file. With keyword will automatically open the file and they will also close the file when and when it is required, right? So when and when whatever thing is required, we can do and read it over here. Likewise, this is technically called as read mode over here in this file. So in this file, what I want to add multiple lines over here. So right, well, just I'm doing it manually here. Maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe till 15 I'm adding it here. So some 15 lines I added it here in this particular code, just a number I added, and I did Control S to save this over here. After saving it, let me read it again. So you see I rerun this code. So all the content what is present inside it has come up over here. Now in this code, there is one more function guys inside the read function. It's technically called as I want to read only 10 lines or the initial top 10 lines. So there is an option called 10 here if you write it. So you press it here. So you see initial, it should print 10 lines. So I'm telling here it should go and read the entire file for me. Otherwise I can use without the with keyword also. Let me open it with the without with keyword. So I'm opening it with without with keyword. I'm storing the entire content here. And in this content, I am printing it. So entire content is printing and is already printing. So let me close it also. File dot close. So I'm not using with for this example, just to show you something over here, right? So likewise, if you want to read only the 10 characters, so I can have multiple different options. So I can tell here, I want you to read only 20 characters. So I print it here, see only 20 characters, it will go and print it over here. If you want, it is technically not lines, it is characters. So I'm telling here, I want you to read only one character. So see, only W they have read it over here. Same way, if I want you to tell him read only 5 characters, so only 5 characters inside the entire file, they have read it over here, right? Now what I want the entire content in this particular line. I want to read it as maybe like a line by line kind of a thing. So in this case, using the with keyword, I'm opening the particular file, and inside this, maybe I can apply a for loop also. So for example, I'm running this file, I'm opening this file as a file keyword, and inside this, I'm applying a for loop. So for do one thing, line inside the file. Line is just a variable, guys. You can write I, J, K, L, whatever you want to give it. Let me give a meaningful name. So line. So this all the line inside the file, right? Do one thing, print word by word for me. So it's like line, right? There's one function technically called as stripe function. We have used it inside the string classes whenever you're talking about the print statement on the day one, day two. At that time, I've told you piece by piece, word by word, it will stripe all the entire words inside the document. So I'll tell here, do one thing, stripe it over here. So stripe function, technically strip function, we call it as strip function. I can use the strip function over here. So what happened? One by one, one by one, one by one, they have printed it, all the lines over here. So inside this loop, even though you're not visible here, but it's like one by one, they have done it over here. Otherwise, if you can add some delay also, so every 1 second, they will generate one sentence, then 1 second, they'll generate the sentence. That also you can do it. We can add maybe OS module whenever we talk about the modules. At that time, I'll show you one by one, like a stopwatch. The content is generating. We can do it over there also in this case, right? This is all about read mode. And now if I want to write the content inside the file, so technically we want to open in the write mode of the file. So write mode has all different formats. For example, this same format, I'm not using with keyword here. Maybe you can use it or cannot use it. It's your choice. So always good practice. If you're using with keyword, don't close the file. It will automatically close for you. But if you forget to close it, then again, if some another program might want to use it will not open in that particular program, right? So it will be running. So it's good practice to close it manually, or whether with keyword will automatically close for you, right? So now what I want to write and save some data inside this particular file. So we have to technically use, I don't want to open this file in the read mode. Instead of read mode, I'll be telling open this file in the write mode. And inside this file, again, I don't want to print something, anything here. This 2 lines read function is not there. So we are not reading it. We are actually writing it. So I open this particular file. So I'll open it here. Let me open it. Now this file is open. What I'm telling inside the file, I want to write something. I want to enter some text over here. So if I write it here with the write function, available. So if you press tab, there are all the functions. They have a function called detach. There is a function called flush. There is a function called name. There is a function called read lines, seek, seekable, tell, writable, write function. Write function will help us to write any of the text inside it, right? So I'm writing it here. Maybe I want to write hi all, welcome to day 4. Right? So this code inside the file, I'm writing it with the help of Python as a programming language. So this Python as a programming language, I want to write something inside the file. So what I'm telling, I just run the code. As soon as I run the code, guys, you will see the file, wherever this file is will saved. this content will be stored inside it, and that also they're telling me that 23 characters we have stored it inside it. So it's always good practice. Close the file also. I close the file also. So using this write keyword, which is technical W keyword, I'm writing the content in the file. Now if I go and see graphically also, let's see the older content is replaced, right? So technically, what does write mode do is, guys, even though if you don't tell it, so all the previous content, whatever you have written it is we have previous content was this one. So all the entire previous content will be removed if you open your file in the write mode, right? So technically, अगर आप write mode में open करते हो, तो all the previous content inside your file will be deleted, right? So this is one of the drawback of write mode, but we can technically not delete it. It's just technically called as overridden over there. So it's override the content in your file, right? For example, I want to write multiple lines here, right? For example, I'm creating one list here called students as a list. Just a list I'm creating. Inside this, maybe I'm creating a student name called Tom and one more student name called Jack, one more student name called Pop, one more student name called Harry. These are all the student name list I am entering it here. And every keyword, every name, I want it in the backline. So I can apply some escape sequence over here. There are multiple escape sequence available in Python. You can show escape. So I want to enter something in the new line. To escape sequence, SE sequence in Python. You can quickly search it. And we can find it out multiple tons of different escape sequence. For example, backslash n, use it for new line. Backslash a, use it for bell. Backslash b, we can use it for backspace. If you have vertical tab, horizontal tab, new line, backslash n, we can use it over here. So backslash n का क्या मतलब होता है? I'm adding backslash n here. Every record, I want you to write it under the entire new line. So after every record, create a new line. After every record, create a new line. So after every record, create a new line. Right? So after Harry also do one thing, write a new line. Right? That's it. I run this code. So this code is created. Now what I want to do, I want to open a file, right? And all this list which I have written here line by line by line, I want to store inside it, right? So I'll tell with keyword, open the file, right? Open the file called database data.txt, data.txt file, and open this file in the write mode and give it a name or alias as a file over here, right? And I want to write the content inside the file. So file dot write content. I'm telling here I want to write something inside this content, but I don't want to write one line. I want to write multiple lines. So for this, we have one more function called read write lines. What it require? It require multiple different lines of students. For example, I'm giving here students list. So what will happen? Whatever data we have inside this right now, inside this data.txt, right? It will get override and all the data which is stored inside our list will be stored over there. So where is my Jupyter notebook? It's here. So all the data which is stored in the Tom, Jack, Pop, and Harry will be added. So I'm just opening the file. That's it. Now if you open it again, you will see it contains Tom, Jack, Pop, and Harry. And every record, they're adding it in a new line. Why? Because of the escape sequence. Backslash n, new line, they will add it over here for us. This is just like multiple list also you want to add it over here. But the drawback of write is, guys, technically it overrides the previous data. So it's always good practice if you want to insert new data in the file which has already has some data into it. So always open the file in the append mode. So maybe what I'm doing, I'm creating this list here and I'm adding some few more names here, right? Maybe I'm adding here called Jack. Jack was already done. Maybe Eric as a user, right? Again, new line after Eric. And here I'm adding one more student, maybe Krish as a student. right? Maybe one more student, this was the quick name. Maybe I'll add one more student called my name. So my name as a student over here. That's it. Just in a list, multiple data I'm adding it over here. Now what I want inside this same list, I want to append this entire data. So inside this, I want again my new list to be added. So again, Tom, Jack, Pop, Harry, Eric. So maybe Harry, till Harry we already have, so we can remove it over here. So same data, so just to not make you confused. This is a new list of the students. I want this data to be appended over here, which means इसके आगे वो add हो जाए. It should add in front of Harry and other users over here, right? So what I'm doing, same code, right? I'm opening this file with the help of with keyword. I'm opening the file again, same file data.txt, right? And I'm opening this file in the right, instead of write mode, open this file in the append mode over here. I'm giving this file name as a file here in this case. And now what I want to tell file, do one thing. I want to write something over here. So file dot write. So there are also function called write lines. So I have to write multiple lines. Which lines? Students dot take. So by chance function name is same, everything is same. Just in this case, we are opening the file in the write mode, and in this case, we are opening the file in the append mode. Now if I run this code, so we'll see automatically if I open this file again quickly, see new student has been updated over here, right? So in this case, append will just technically add and append it over there inside it. Okay, so this is technically called as the entire file we are retrieving it, entire data we are retrieving it, and we are storing it this file in the append mode. Maybe likewise, I want to create some logs files over here likewise. So multiple different options we can create it, right? So maybe append mode or maybe log file, if we had it, we can use that also to retrieve it. It's technically called as txt file, we have read it over there. So three different modes we have seen it. There are different other modes also. So for example, if we want to create the file also, right? So in this case, if I want to create a file, so there is multiple plus x mode, or maybe x mode over here in this case. So maybe I'm writing give a new data, new underscore data dot txt, and I want to write the student data inside it. So what happened? Automatically we'll see new file also created over here. See? So this file, even though X mode means if the file is not created, create the file over there for us. So technically for creating the file, and in this file also, this data is inserted, right? So likewise, we have read, write, append, and this executable, which is technically create a new code over here, right? In this case. Now, not just text file, guys, even though if you create a CSV file also, so we can read this data inside the CSV file as well. So what is CSV file? It is nothing but just a comma separated file, right? So instead here we are giving an extension text. Now what I want to create a file here with the extension in this same folder. So I'm creating the file with the help of notepad here. So notepad, create a file, maybe my info or maybe marks dot csv. So csv is nothing but a comma separated values, right? So those are again want to go in maybe in the near future data science, data analytics. At that time, this comma separated value csv file, most of the times we use this file only over there. So I'm opening this file, csv file over here, and I'm giving the file name here called marks, and maybe one file, one column I want to create it called as name. In this case, this file will not be separated by space. This column will be technically separated by comma. So it's just like we are creating a Excel file with some column over here, two columns, maybe name and marks as a column. So it's just one entry in the Excel we are creating it over here. But if you want to create it with the CSV, so every value should be separated by comma. So I'm telling a name is one column, marks is another column. So name, first name is maybe Tom. So first line I'm entering it here, first row, right? First row I'm entering into this CSV. So Tom is one of the name. Maybe I want to give his marks called 88 marks. Maybe I want to give one more user, Eric as a user, and here I'm giving the marks called 90 over here. One more user I'm creating here, maybe Pop as a user, and it has got 77 marks. Maybe Krish as a user name, but don't give space after it. Don't give extra space separated. Don't give colon separated. Don't give slash separated. It is comma separated values. CSV file comma separated values. Maybe he has received 77 marks. Either maybe 74 marks over here. Maybe one more student called Ajay. He has stored maybe 99 marks over here, right? So I quickly save it here, Control S, and saved it. This file is saved. Now I want to read this file using Python. So in this case, I'll tell and import one library, guys, which is technically called as CSV as a library. CSV as a library, right? So I want to import this CSV file. So I'm I want to read this CSV file over here. Now in this case, I want to read the file. So CSV dot, there is a function called render function over here. What I want to render, I want to render the file. Maybe my file name is called marks.csv. You can see in this case, this marks.csv is open, and you open it, it will be opening in the Excel. So in Excel, two columns are created with this particular records. तो एक्सेल में दो कॉलम्स यहाँ पे क्रिएटेड हो जाएंगे with some few records which we have entered it over here, right? So I close this Excel file and now I want to read it. So render CSV, inside CSV module we have a function here. So maybe file name I am mentioning it over here. So my what is the data, maybe marks was the name, marks dot CSV. Run this code, they're telling me error, marks is not defined. So again, it is a file name. So we have to give a file name in double inverted commas. Run it. So rendered over here in this case, right? So technically this file is rendered, or maybe I want to do tons more other things inside it. So render is technically I'm rendering this particular file. Now, even though with the file handling also, guys, we can open this file. So when we don't import CSV module, right, we can open it with file handling, but I'm just quickly showing you with the CSV module what we want to do, right? So maybe I want to read some data inside it. So CSV, or maybe I want to write some data. So we have a writer function inside it. So let me quickly check. There's function called reader. So reader is function. Reader is function. There's function reader for reading the file. Otherwise, instead of using CSV module, best or the best way is we can maybe use pandas, or maybe we can use with keyword of file handling over here. So let me use file handling just to quickly show you. It's very simple. So file handling, I'm opening this particular file. Maybe the file name is called marks.csv. So it should be defined. It's the name marks.csv. And here this file I want to open maybe in the read mode, right? I'm just opening the read mode as this particular file. So now I'm giving this file alias, just a name of a file, and I want to read the file. So file dot read function. This will read the entire data inside the file. So they're telling me read is not defined. So technically this kind of error you see it, which is telling me which is not defined, which means we did a mistake. So instead of giving it directly clear, we have to pass it over here in the double inverted commas, right? So file.read will read the entire information for us, right? So but I want to write it. So maybe I want to write mode, all will open it. So read lines function, we might use it. Read lines and read it. So it's not reading it quickly. 1 second. Okay, maybe open function, maybe write mode we entered it. And inside this, I want to add new line also. So maybe I'm entering it new line, maybe is empty over here, right? So now I'm writing something inside this file. So maybe I'm writing. So for this, maybe I need to add a writer function also in CSV. So let me enable CSV. So I think directly only imported, this library is imported. So I write a CSV function to write it. So I'm telling CSV, do one thing, I want to write it. So there is a function called writer in this particular library. And here I want to write something here. Where you want to write? I want to write it inside a file. So whatever file I had it, I'm mentioning a name, marks.csv. So I want to insert something. Maybe I'm giving this, storing this value in the variable called writer. This is my writer. And this writer, I want to add the rows. तो क्या रो ऐड करनी है वो हम maybe यहाँ पे marks नाम से हम create कर लेंगे. तो हम यहाँ पे append कर रहे हैं या write कर रहे हैं या append मोड में open कर लेते हैं इसको quickly. या otherwise read mode में ही open करते हैं instead of write mode. We can let's open in the write mode over there. Right. So previous data will be removed. Technically, let me copy paste it somewhere. So let me open it with Notepad quickly. This is my code, just a file, and let me save it somewhere on another Notepad. So just saved it, and now close this marks.csv. And in this case, let me close this. Let's keep this running. So I'm writing. Maybe I want to write inside it. What I want to write? I want to write some more data. So I'll enter here inside list, I'm passing it in technically a nested list. Maybe I want to enter a name, right? Maybe one more record, maybe subject also. Maybe one more column I wanted, maybe score. This is first entry I have created it over here. Some more entry, maybe Tom has Tom from Python classes. In Python, he has scored maybe 88 marks. So it's an integer, not a string. So I should not declare it over here like an integer. So I'm declaring 89 marks. He got it. Maybe one more entry. Let me quickly add it. Jack, and the subject name maybe he is from ML, and he has scored maybe uh, 77 marks. So just a marks. No, sorry, forgot a comma, so I should have to insert a separator here and run it. So this marks is being added, and this information I want to insert and create it in my CSV files. So I want to insert rows. So there is one function inside my writer called rows, or I think write rows. Write rows is the function. So I want to insert multiple rows over here, and my rows is stored in a nested loop called marks. As soon as I enter it, argument must have been write method. So already it's a write method. Let me cross check quickly. CSV writer on, so 1 second, maybe not a file name. Expected at least one argument, got 0. So maybe they're asking a file name here. So maybe, sorry, we are giving a file instead of file name. I want to give a file entire over file path over here. Right, so run it. Now see, this file is open in the write mode. Otherwise, we can pass the entire text also here. This entire file name and everything, I can pass it in this case. So what happened? Eventually, if you open your data now, you see new data inserted. So using CSV and file handling, we can insert the data also quickly. Want to read the data very quicker? We can read the data also with the help of Python. So I copy the same code, pasted the same code. Instead of here, I'm creating a new variable. I want to open it in the write mode. We don't require new line here, right? And now instead of writing the code, I will just reading the code here. I'm removing this entire path, and I'm giving maybe one reader. This is my function. So CSV, there is a function called reader, and here we are opening the file. So this file you have to read it, right? And inside this, I can apply a for loop. So for each row, in this particular variable called reader, I want to print the row. That's it. One single click, each row printed. You see, technically they are printing all the rows which is stored in your CSV file, right? Likewise, tons of other thing we can do it, guys, with the help of file handling over here. Right? This is all about file handling in this case. Now let's start with one another new topic today. It's technically called as exception handling. What is the meaning of exception handling, guys? For example, if you guys are running this block of code and if some error happens, what you want to show the customers, for example, in this case, so some type of errors while running the code, we generally face it, right? So maybe we are using maybe a Flask backend over here inside it, and we are entire backend we are running it over here inside the Python Flask, right? So in this case, if something happens, some error happens, what our code should do for us? So technically, we write it with the help of try and except blocks. So we tell try, we write all the riskier code or all the code over here. And if this code fails, then go for except blocked. It's technically called as handle the error, whatever error we have it over here, or else block also we can write it here. So else do this, and there's one more block called finally. So these are all the keywords. If you do, always run this for me. अगर कोई कोड नहीं वर्क कर रहा है तो go, and if this code is not working, I'm telling technically simple words, let me repeat it here. So I'm telling here, run this code, and if this code does not work, go for a except block in your case, right? So if this except block also does not work, try for maybe else block over here in this case. And if there is no error, this block will technically run. So if there is no error, run if no error receives, right? So always run this block. So technically we write it with the finally keywords. So some basic example, let me show you over here. So what I want, I'm taking one very interesting one example here. Maybe let me add multiple cells below and maybe give the heading name here, right? In this block, I'm technically trying to do something here. So I'm telling I try first to run this block of code. For example, here I'm taking the input called marks. So marks as an input, I'm taking integer over here, right? An integer, I'm declaring this is an input. An input, I'm telling enter your marks. That's it. This is what's one input I'm taking it over here. If this marks user entered, then I will tell print something. What to print? Maybe marks is is technically stored in this variable called marks, right? And if this block of code fails, then if you accept any error, so accept the one error. So if some code, maybe somebody entered one error here, for example, I am entering here integer in the input block. So if I take the input here, I will try to type the string here in this case. So maybe a. So you see, I received the error called value error here. So I'm telling accept the value error. If somebody received this error, so you have to go and tell the user that you are doing a mistake. You have to enter here a number, but you are entering a string in this case. So technically we are guiding the user here. So if you find at the error called value error, then tell the user, print the for the user, uh, I think you are entering string, but it should be integer. So now if I run this code, and even though I'm entering h over here, it is a string. So you see, it is giving me some better output. It is guiding me. I think you are entering a string, but it should be integer. So now I come to know. So then I started writing. I got maybe 99 marks here. So marks is 99, right? So how better we handle the code? So this is technically called as error handling in this case, right? For example, one very interesting example I'm taking it here. So for example, I'm creating one function here called divide function, right? And the user will enter two values, a or b. I'm storing it in the variable a and b. So what I'm telling, try to run the code and in which store one variable in the result and a divided by b. That's it. Try to do this. So again, sorry, a divided by b. I want to do this over here for your case, right? So result is equal to technically a divided by b. Otherwise, it's incomplete input. Why? Because it is not technically returning something here. But I can tell if somebody try to do, so I'm just, it's an incomplete code. Let me do a divided by b. So I'm telling a value I'm taking as an input. सो अगेन फर्स्ट एरर, इनपुट फंक्शन में हमें स्ट्रिंग नहीं इंटीजर चाहिए होगा, तो यहाँ पे एक एरर आएगा. मल्टीपल टाइप्स ऑफ एरर वी हैव. टाइप एरर, इनकम्प्लीट आउटपुट एरर, जीरो डिवीजन एरर, likewise multiple errors will come up. So I'm showing you by doing some errors कि अगर ये एरर आए तो हमें यूजर को गाइड करना है कि फॉलो दिस अप्रोच, यू डिड दिस मिस्टेक एंड देन आई विल गाइड द यूजर टू फॉलो एंड परफॉर्म द output over here for us, right? So I'm this function and is taking input. Maybe यहाँ पे हम a का वैल्यू कर लेते हैं इसको, और वैसे एक और एक फंक्शन बना लेते हैं जो हमारा b वैल्यू ले रहा है. तो instead of calling the function right now, I'm just quickly creating two variables. So again indentation error का आ रहा है, तो indentation error is should not be done. So a is maybe 10, b is maybe 20, right? So a divided by b, ये हमें यहाँ पे unsupported string, sorry, a divided by b. So one second, unsupported forward string string. So technically what they are telling me, ये हमें बोल रहा है ये टाइप एरर है. तो अगर कभी कोई यूजर स्ट्रिंग बाय चांस इनपुट फंक्शन स्ट्रिंग में स्टोर करता है, तो दिस इज वन टाइप ऑफ एरर, टाइप एरर here. So in this case, I'm telling accept the type error. तो टाइप एरर में मेंशन कर दो यूजर को प्रिंट यू आर एंटरिंग अ स्ट्रिंग ओवर हियर, राइट? या फिर हम बोल सकते हैं यहाँ पे एरर बोथ वैल्यूज टू बी इंटीजर नॉट स्ट्रिंग, right? This is one type of error I am telling it over here. But there is one more type of error. For example, if somebody, so okay, so I got to know this should be written as integer, so I did integer here. So I fixed this code manually with the error. So whatever error was there, we fixed it, and now I'm also declaring this code also, it is also an integer, and here it is also input and this block of code, right? So in this case, I am entering the value. Maybe first value is 10. So 10, I want to divide by 0 and I want to see the output. So you can see now the error is different. It is telling me 10 cannot be divided by 0. So it's technically a called as zero division error, right? So इस error को copy कर लेंगे और again हम बोलेंगे अगर ये दोनों error आए किसी भी user को, तो again यहाँ पे except block लिख दो, exception block, right? If you face this kind of error, then print can not divide by 0, right? Otherwise, if everything is fine, do one thing, else block of code is run, right? Else block of code will always run if everything is fine. So it will print division successful over here for us. Maybe आप चाहो तो इसका रिजल्ट भी प्रिंट कर सकते हो, तो हम इसका रिजल्ट तो भी प्रिंट कर देंगे डिवीजन सक्सेसफुल, और हम इसका रिजल्ट प्रिंट करते हैं. रिजल्ट नाम के वेरिएबल में है यहाँ पे, राइट. सो डिजल नाम के वेरिएबल में हमने यहाँ पे स्टोर कर दिया है. Else, and finally, once everything is fine, do one thing, tell it here, finally, finally block. In this block, I'm printing it, that print division done successfully. Division done fully. So I run it. So this function now, when is all the error is gone, right? So now what I want to call this function. So divide, do one thing, divide function, come here and run 10 divided by 2. So they tell me division successful, 10 divided by 2 is 50. So division done successfully. Finally, means once everything runs successfully, run this block of code over here. Run this block of code at that particular time, right? Now, this division is done successfully. And now maybe if some errors come up, divide function, I want to divide maybe 10 divided by 0. So first number is 10, second number is 0. So this cannot divide it by 0. So all the errors we are receiving it here, I am handling all the errors very gracefully over here in this case. Maybe even though I type string here, so if my user will come to know what is the exact message. This value, which is technical, this topic is only called as exception handling. So if something happens, something wrong happens, what to do at that particular time. So they can tell find and do and solve this. So even though we type 2 string over here as a string to 10 divided by 2. So they will say error both values to be integer. Right. So we're guiding our user to be and give a proper different values over here for us. Right. So this is one question, one example of this I want to show you over here. This is technically called as the error handling. Right. Now, one very interesting topic, right, in the world of Python, most of the students fear about this topic, which is technically called as object oriented programming. So it's called as OOPS as a programming concepts over here. So OOPS, object oriented programming, is technically, guys, way of organizing your data. For example, there are some terminologies which I just explaining you over here. There is one concept technically called as class as a concept, right? What is class? For example, let me tell you with some example over here. So there is one person sitting at the receptionist. Maybe Tom is sitting over here in the receptionist, right? And what happened? Any of this person come up, maybe this is a bank operation or maybe a hotel over here in this case. So hotel or maybe your apartment, or maybe let's consider it as a LW office, right? So let's suppose this is a LW office and Tom is sitting at the receptionist, right? So whenever somebody will come up, right, so they will come up and they will ask Tom, I'm here to inquire about one particular course, which is technically called as one inquiry form. This Tom will give it. But what Tom did, Tom technically and the management team did it. Tom and the entire management team decided over here. Further, before this, they planned everything. So if somebody come up and they ask me, I am here for XYZ use case. So I'm in the office. I want to do whatever the reason is. Just do one thing, keep one visitor form, open this form and just collect all the information about it. So all the information, I am deciding what information to collect. So all the entire part, management team decided here, right? They decided they want to take a name. They want to take a maybe their contact number. Maybe they want to take their mobile number. Maybe they want to take their address over here. Maybe they want to take their multiple information. So they all decided that I want to take all this information and I want to store this information and given to Tom. So technically, they have created one class over here. And it's right. So, right. So class is nothing but a blueprint of the object we want to create. Right. So for example, pop come up. As soon as pop come up into the office and to the receptionist, he has become who has taken one visitor form and he has filled one information about it. He has become the entire object of the class. So well, kind of a LW member he has become it over here, right? So it's the object-oriented programming is technically called as class. So in class is nothing but a blueprint we want to create. So technically what all informations we want to store it, what all objects we want to collect, what our objectives are, we want to collect these details. So technically once it's like a blueprint of the object we want to create it, right? So we technically, if we want to create a class, we can create a class. For example, I'm creating a class here called employee class. So I'm just starting multiple topics here. Let me make it as markdown and let me tell this topic as oops over here, right? And in this case, I'm creating one class name, maybe a welcome class, maybe, right? So I'm telling class, I want to create one blueprint, and what this class will do, maybe employee class, this class and just a class name and whatever you want to write it. So I am deciding whenever somebody come up, create this method. This is technically this function inside the class is called as method. They will do greet, right? And what they will do, they will automatically greet and they will print it over here for us. So what they will print, maybe hello, I am an employee. So maybe instead of this, let them welcome everyone, welcome all, welcome, hi, how are you, right? So this will open it over there in this case. Right. So what happened as soon as somebody come up, they will tell I want to create a employee class. So new employee join. So again, whenever you visited here, maybe Tom is one of the employee of the company. So employee class, we are giving it to the Tom. So as soon as we run this code, the new object called Tom is already created with this particular class. So इस blueprint से Tom create हो चुका है. Tom की जो मेथड है वो क्रिएट हो चुकी है यहाँ पे. अब यहाँ पे मेंशन करेंगे टॉम, डू यू वांट टू डू वन थिंग, डू यू वांट टू ग्रेड इट. सो सी as soon as you run it, they're telling me employee grade take one positional argument, right? So in this case, if you want to pass one positional argument, there's one special keyword called self as a keyword. So now object created. See, as soon as somebody try to run it using the self keyword, Tom can also call this particular keyword. अगर ये self keyword नहीं लिखते यहाँ पे तो Tom greet function को कभी call ही नहीं कर पाता. Why? So the use of this self keyword is very simple. Whenever the object is created in with the particular class, it can call all the methods which we have inside it. मतलब उसके अंदर जितने भी functions है वो सबको यहाँ पे call कर सकता है हमारे class में, right? So this is technically called as greet function. Tom has got it over here, right? So one example, simplest class I have created it over here. Maybe I want to create a class with some attributes. So some different attributes I'm creating, just giving an example heading here, class with attribute, right? So just one heading name. Let me create a class here, maybe same class, employee class, again updating it here, low YEE employee class, and this class I'm giving a detail name, maybe company as a name. So this class or this person belong to LW as a company, for example, right? And I want to see one function here. I'm creating one function, maybe show company function. What this function will do, it will be able to call itself, right? And it will print this particular variable. So it's an attribute created here. I'm telling print the worker name. So worker works at and maybe the company name. So this in this case, I want to tell and retrieve this variable. So there's one keyword called self keyword. Self keyword, inside self keyword, I'm telling I want to retrieve the variable called company, right? So that's it. So whenever employee created, maybe employee one created here, and I'm creating it with the employee class, रन इट, ये ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट हो चुका है। अब ये ऑब्जेक्ट के पास सारे फंक्शंस अवेलेबल होंगे जो इस क्लास के अंदर थे, जैसे शो कंपनी। अब ये फंक्शन, ये एट्रीब्यूट रन होगा, तब ये मेथड रन होगी, तब ये एट्रीब्यूट को कॉल करेंगे। यहाँ पे देखना, जैसे ही आई रन इट दिस फंक्शन, लेट्स सी, वर्क्स एट LW, right? So this is technically called a class with attributes. I have created it over here, right? This is one very important part I want to show you over here, right? And now what I want to create one maybe class of a product. So multiple examples I'm taking of attribute. So when I'm creating a class called product class. In this case, I'm creating a function name called apply discount, right? So apply discount is just a class name, and this class takes, or this functions take multiple different attributes. First is all the values which I want to run it over here, I can run it. Then it take price, it take discount, how much discount you want to give it, or maybe percentage discount, right? So better would be percentage, how much percentage you want to give it, right? A percent, we can write it whatever you want to write it, just a variable name, nothing big deal. Now I want to create a discount here. So discount is equal to maybe price minus how much percentage we are giving it. So price multiplied by percent divided by maybe 10. For example, 10% I'm giving it over, no, not 10, 100. So divided by 100, so we'll get a percentage here. So 10%, 10 into whatever the price we had it, whatever shopping they have done it, MRP they had it, and on top of it multiplied with the percentage and divided by 100. So we'll give us a percent, and then I want to return some value. So I'm telling return, do one thing, discounted price को return कर दो. So this variable I am returning back. So maybe spelling is wrong, discounted, you can correct the spelling also. Now this class will run, and as soon as this class will run, you will see object will be created. So I'm creating maybe item is nothing but a product. The product object will be created. Now inside this item, maybe I want to apply the discount on that particular item. So inside this item, I want to apply discount. How much discount I want to apply? What is the price? 10,000 is the price, right? How much discount I want to give? Maybe 25% I want to give the discount, right? And I run it, and maybe I can print it. I can save it in one variable, maybe final price, just a variable name, and maybe I print this value also. So print uh, maybe final price after discount is technically not double inverted commas, is final underscore price. So you can see after applying the discount, the price is around 7,500 rupees, right? So one class created technically for product class, and whenever any product come up, any person come up, they'll go and create it over there, right? And what is object? So this product, whenever it is created from the class, whenever somebody use it, so it's nothing actual instance created from the class. So every time you call this item will become one object over here for us, right? So multiple examples of class and object, we can go and see it over there. There's one more concept which is technically, guys, called as constructor, right? For example, there is double underscore init, right, is one special method, guys, which technically runs automatically, guys, when the class is created. For example, I want to create one class, maybe let's continue with the same example only, employee class. This is just a class name, and I want, whenever this class is constructed, I want to use the constructor underscore init. This is just a name. Self is one of the keyword. We use it in the object-oriented programming to call it itself over there. Then we can give a role also, that what is your role. So employee, name, and role. So whatever name user had, I want to retrieve that value and store it in the name variable, right? Whatever the role user has, I want to retrieve that role and store it in the role variable, right? That's it. Just one thing I want to do it over here. So I created this, and you see whenever I'm creating maybe employee 3 2 here, come up and his constructor object created, maybe his name is Jack and he is CEO of the company. So I run it, you can see automatically this will run up, this constructor will run up, and this constructor has stored two values, name और role. कैसे चेक कर सकते हैं? तो ये ऑब्जेक्ट की वैल्यू से जैसे आप डॉट और टैब प्रेस करोगे, विल फाइंड टू डिफरेंट ऑप्शन. यू वांट टू सी नेम, run it, it is Jack. In this employee, what is the role? So you'll see the role is CEO over here, right? So this is technically called as constructor. This double underscore in it, what we are writing it here, will automatically run when as soon as any of the object is created at that particular time. So automatically run for us if we want to run it quickly somewhere. So some of the things you want keep by default, I want to have this kind of settings, or maybe I want to have this option over there for by default. So I can go and create multiple different constructors. So for defining some by default values at that time, you can do it over here, right? So maybe one more example on constructor. Let me quickly explain you here. For example, what I want a bank account detail. So I'm creating a class called bank account. Just a name, you can give any name, right? It's not. So just a bank account name. And I'm creating one function here. I'm creating the constructor. So double underscore. It's not double hyphen, guys. It is not single underscore. It is double underscore in it. So these are technically called as constructor. This code will automatically run. It will take this bank account. I want to store two information, maybe owner, 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 and the balance. So by default value अगर आपको set करनी है balance की, if somebody don't enter it, set it 0. So I'm setting up here also. In the last class we have seen it in the functions. Want to pass it with some parameters. So we can set the values. Okay, owner I want to make it, or maybe balance I want to make it 0. So I can check if balance is less than 0. So I'll tell I will raise one error. So one keyword called raise. What will happen? It will raise the error, maybe uh, value error. So whatever error handling has it. So V should be capital and E should be capital. तो value का कुछ error आता है अगर value हम define नहीं करें तो. So if somebody has raised a value error, so अगर इस तरीके का error raise कर देना, right? So I'll tell the inside the error in initial balance can not be negative, right? Just a value error, giving the error. So initial balance cannot be negative, and all the information I want to store it in two variables. So self, I want to tell owner, save this variable inside the owner variable only. Again, self keyword, whatever user will enter, automatically it will run balance, whatever balance the user has. That's it, guys. This bank account class created with us. Now in this, I want to create an account. So maybe account, which is technically object I want to create it. So I'll tell here bank account. That's it. Bank account, maybe my this name, and I'm entering the amount here. So maybe I'm depositing 1 lakh rupees. That's it. Now I want to see what my account one has. So that's balance. I want to see the balance. Balance is 1 lakh rupees. I want to see who is the owner. Owner. They'll tell me I am the owner of this account, right? So constructor technically guys runs and validate the code. So हर बार ये कोड रन होगा और अगर किसी भी पर्सन ने ये वैल्यू को जीरो से हटा दिया, बैलेंस इज नॉट इक्वल टू जीरो। तो एक्चुअल बैलेंस हम यहाँ पे अगर मान लो जीरो कर देते हैं तो ये रन ही नहीं होगा, ये यहाँ पे एरर नहीं आ रहा है। मे बी यहाँ पे आपने रेस कर रखा है हमने। सो ये बैंक अकाउंट मिसिंग पोजिशन आर्ग्यूमेंट, बैंक अकाउंट, सॉरी पहले ओनर फिर बैलेंस, बैलेंस हमने जीरो कर दिया है या नेगेटिव कर दिया है। जीरो पे तो एक करता है -2। So see, initial balance cannot be negative. So value error, they're printing it this particular error for us. So again, we are handling the entire exceptions also over here in this case, right? And whatever functions we write, guys, inside the this example. So maybe this function, I want to create one more method here. So method is nothing but whatever function we write it. So I'm creating one method, maybe annual salary. Right? And I'm telling here the annual salary, whatever the user is entering it here. So return whatever the person is entering, whatever salary user should have. So I'm taking two things, maybe name and salary. Name and salary I'm doing it, and I'm just doing it multiplied by 12. Maybe monthly salary and annual salary I want to give it. So two functions I had. Now in this case, I'm entering the value, maybe my name is this name, maybe my salary is 1 lakh rupees. So balance is not defined. One second, balance less than equal to 0. So sorry, balance नाम से हमने कीवर्ड नहीं बनाया है, तो ये लॉजिक को हम हटा सकते हैं यहाँ से। So this is not required, हमने actually ऐसे LAR Y salary इसको हम स्टोर कर, लेट मी सिलेक्ट इट फ्रॉम हियर। इसको चेक कर नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो इनिशियल बैलेंस नहीं चेक कर रहे हैं, सैलरी चेक कर रहे हैं। तो इसको डिफरेंट एग्जांपल था, ये डिफरेंट एग्जांपल है इस दिस पर्टिकुलर केस। रन इट, सी अकाउंट बैंक, बैंक ओनर, this is balance is 0 rupees, owner is this one. And see, even though if you don't give any information, we can, owner is not defined, why it is telling me 1 minute. सॉरी ओनर नहीं बनाया, हमने नीम नाम से स्टोर किया, इसको ओनर की जगह पे नीम कर देंगे। बैलेंस इज नॉट डिफाइंड, बी स्पेलिंग बी, सॉरी सैलरी है। सो टू थिंग्स वी विल रिसीव नाउ, नेम और सैलरी। Run this code, bank account, मैं से बैंक अकाउंट नो attribute balance, so it's taking me attribute called salary. This is actually wrong. अब इसको टैप करते हैं तो यहाँ पे सैलरी फंक्शन को यूज कर सकते हैं। तो सी द सैलरी ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन इज दिस, एंड व्हाट इज द नेम, name is also telling me this is the name, right? So two things we are giving it in this case. So we are creating one multiple objects inside one class. So every function you created is technically called as method over there in the world of object oriented programming, right? Okay, so this is one part of it. Now let's go and see next more parts. So I want to create method with multiple different parameters. So I can create it with multiple different parameters also. For example, multiple examples we are creating it. So let me give one example here, method with parameters. Just a name I'm giving it here. You guys can create it. Maybe another example I'm creating a class here. Maybe cart as a class. like a kind of a shopping cart class. So again, inside it, I'm creating one constructor underscore underscore init. This is technically helps us to create a constructor. Inside it, I'm writing one keyword called self, right? And so inside this, I am creating one variable, and in this case, I am creating one variable called total. So I'm setting up the total. The value of total is 0. So whenever somebody enter, I want to add something inside the cart. So I'm setting up the value here is 0. And in this case, maybe I'm adding one more function here. One more method I'm creating. Maybe add item. So inside one cart, I'm adding one item over here in this case. So I'm adding the item, right? Self item, I am adding it here in this case. So ये add करेगा whatever items I want to create it. So I want this to add automatically. So I can use self keyword here, and I want to add two things. So of the item, they will have price variable and the quantity variable. So inside price and quantity, I am storing all the item in my shopping cart. So whatever you went to the shopping cart, it's just like a digital billing. We are doing it here. So inside this digital shopping cart in your website, you are having the bill, price, and the quantity, two things, right? So inside this cart, you want to add the item. So it requires two things, price or quantity, right? So there's one new function, and whatever price and quantity we have it, out of this we have to find the total. So total, I'm telling automatically retrieve the value of total, right? And add and assign the value over here, increase and assign the value price multiplied by quantity. So whatever your quantity is, this would be your cost. So now I started shopping. So I did a card class over here. So just a variable. I am creating a, this is a class called cart as a class over here. Now in this class, in this cart, I want to add some item, right? So in this, we have one function called add underscore item. Here I'm entering, I want to add maybe price of this item is 200 rupees and quantity I'm purchasing is 2. So what happened? This card item added, right? Again, I'm adding cart. I want to add and I want to see what is my total, right? So inside the cart, we can see what is the total. So right now you can see the total is, sorry, total is not callable. Sorry, total. So you're telling me total is right now 400. Now again, something I'm adding inside the cart. So cart, again, new item I want to add it. We want to add 100 rupees. I purchase one item here. And see, now cart this item added. Now if I see the total of the cart, it has become 500. So it is like organizing your entire code in a better structure so that we can call it and use it whenever and when it is required. Right? So that's all exactly how object-oriented programming works. So it's just like one method with different parameters. And this parameters, earlier my items was 200. Two items I purchased, so I total was 400. Now I can see total is 500. Even though if I add something more here, so inside card, I'm adding the items. Add items. I'm adding maybe 50 rupees. I purchase four items. So see, again cart ka total check करेंगे तो it will become my 700 rupees, right? So 50 rupees into 4, 5, 6, 7, 200 rupees they have added. So it's like a complete shopping cart. We are creating it over here in this case, right? So this is one example of method over there inside the world of object-oriented programming, right? Then there's one more method, one more topic, which is technically called as encapsulation. What is the use of this particular topic? Encapsulation, let me explain you here. Let me mark it encapsulation, right? So what is technically encapsulation, guys? So encapsulation means don't want to give anybody to give, I want to technically restrict the direct access to some of the object inside my class. So technically inside this method किसी एक object का access हमें restrict करना हो, in that case we use encapsulation. राइट सो अगर इनकैप्सुलेशन में फॉर एग्जांपल हम अभी तक जो भी वैल्यू लिख रहे हैं वी आर एडिंग क्रिएटिंग अ वेरिएबल कॉल्ड सेल्फ डॉट नेम सो व्हाट हैपन ये नेम की वेरिएबल की वैल्यूज ऑटोमेटिकली हम नेम नाम के वेरिएबल में स्टोर कर रहे हैं जो भी यूजर एंटर कर रहा है बट व्हाट हैपन मे बी सम टाइम आई एम स्टोरिंग द पासवर्ड आल्सो ऑफ माय यूजर सो इट इज नॉट गुड प्रैक्टिस that we directly go and add that everybody can say share my password and can read the password. So in this case we don't want to give the password accessible to all the objects over here whatever object is creating. So at that time we have to use a concept called encapsulation. Technically हमको एक underscore use करना पड़ता है इसमें. So nothing big concept but just one single underscore we added before the variable and it will become like protected variable over here for us, right? So for example, let me show you with the encapsulation part. So what I'm doing, I'm creating again same class, employee class. And this class, I'm giving a class name. Sorry, spelling is wrong. So incomplete, sorry, enter a class name. Maybe I'm creating one constructor. So as soon as somebody will this create object created, this constructor will take two things. It will take name, maybe salary, and maybe password for some maybe UPI account or something like this. So whatever value user is taking in the name, I want it to be stored in the name variable. So this is publicly available, right? And now what I want to make the salary protected. So technically I don't want anybody to be able to see it. So it's like underscore, single underscore here, single underscore and the variable name. So salary. So before variable name, whatever variable name we have it, just add a underscore over here. So it becomes protected. So I'm storing this in the variable called salary only. But if you want everything to be 100% keep private, not protected, 100% correct protected, this private here, just in that case, we use double underscore over here. So double underscore will keep it private. Single underscore will keep it protected. Right? That's a simple part of encapsulation over here. So I'm telling here maybe password is stored in the password. This class created. Now from this class, I'm creating one object. So object I'm creating maybe employee. This is my employee one. Maybe the name of the employee here is just a name. Maybe I want to give an employee name as Tom. Tom is the name of the employee. And maybe Tom has a salary of 25,000 rupees, right? So this is 25,000, just a name, and maybe I want to enter a password here. So whatever password he is entering it, so maybe this is the password he has entered of his system. So I'll try to print, you see, I'm trying to play employee name, I can see the name. If I try to print the value of salary also of the employee, I'll be able to print it. See, print, even though it's private, but Tom is technically calling it. So I want to print employee, and here I want to try to print underscore salary. So it will print it. But if I try to see the password, you will see they will not be able to print it here. See, print inside this, there is one variable called double underscore password. This variable, I try to print it, see attribute error, employee has no attribute double underscore private. So technically what happens inside your method, inside your object oriented programming, if you want some variable to be made public, we can directly write it over here with public. This is public, this is technically protected, and this is completely private over here for us. Right? These are all called as, this concept or this topic is technically called as encapsulation inside the object oriented programming, right? Now there are some more other concepts also here. Maybe uh, let's see some another concept here. For example, let's talk about modules. So inside modules, we have different modules in Python. So all the libraries, technically, whatever we use it, right? So all the content, whatever is coming up, all the power which Python gets is technically from its own library. So if I want to explain, for example, one module or one library we have in Python is called as maths library. So math library, what this library will do, all the all the technical related square root, mathematical addition, sine function, cos function, all the values of this we can write it over here, right? So all with example, I want to find the value of pi or something like this. So there is one, we can also see the documentation of it. So maths module Python, right? This is the documentation of it. So you can see tons of things we can do it. And always good practice, guys, whenever we go for any library or any module, go and check the documentation page or page of it. So most of the communities continuously keep on contributing over there. And any question, like any of the changes they do it, so it's always mentioned in the documentation page. So tons of thing, entire mathematics calculation, whatever you know it, we can do with this particular value, this module over here, right? For example, I want to print something, I want to do mathematical calculation. So let me do one thing, let me see the value of pi. So what I'm telling, I want to calculate the radius. So let's suppose my radius, I'm just storing one variable, is equal to 10. So this is my radius, just a value of a variable I'm setting up here. एक वेरिएबल है उसको हम वैल्यू दे रहे हैं, this value is 10. Maybe I want to find the area here. So area is equal to, maybe area is variable. So there is one function inside maths module which is technically called as pi. So dot and tab. So sine, cos, tan, seal, cosine, degree, distance, right? Expression, factorial, floor, every values we have with us over here. In this case, one more we have is called pi. So I'm telling pi, I want to find the area of circle. So pi multiplied by r square. So radius into square of 2. That's it. What happened? If we run this, I can print it. The pi r square value is nothing but area of circle. Maybe technically is area. तो maybe हम इसको round off भी कर सकते हैं. तो there is one more function called round function. What happen if we print like this? For example, let me print it here, area. So run it, see, 3 1 1 5 9 2 something like this. But what I want the round function. So round function, do one thing, round off the area values by a maximum 2 digit. So you can see 314.16. So pi r square is 100, pi is 3.14. So again, the area of this circle is 314. Likewise, tons of other thing, guys. Whatever mathematics functions you know it, we can go and do it over here. For example, you want to find the square root. So for square root, again, we have a square root function available in Python, right? So again, they're telling me square root function. Maths module has a square root function. So let me go and cross check. So maths square root SQ maths module, sorry, MATH maths, इसमें एक function है s square root. So I want to find a square root of 25. Tell me the square root of 25 is 5, right? So underscore under root, like this square root of 25 is 5. Maybe you want to find some more thing, cos, tan, whatever values you know inside mathematics, everything, guys, we can do it over here. Maybe LCM also we can find it, is square root also they will find it, even factorial. Let me find a factorial function. So there is one more function called maths module called factorial. So I want to find a factorial of 2. So factorial of 2 is 2 into 1 is 2, right? Maybe factorial of 3, it should be 6. 3 2 1. So I have to find 3 2 1 6. 3 into 2 into 1, so it is 6. A factorial of 100. So everything you can find it out here. Maybe factorial of 10, will be a bigger number, 362880. So 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what exactly factorial is. And this factorial is created over here in this case, right? There's one more model, lot more other things in this module. For example, I want to find the maybe is there any LCM? I'm finding out LCM. Or is there any related to LCM? 1 second. Maybe cost function. I want to find a value of cos x, right? So maybe tell me inside maths module, tell me cos of 30 degree. So cos 30 is 0.514. That's what they have done in 54251. That's what the value is. Even though I can check it on Google also. Cos 30 is cos 30 degrees 0.86. What is giving me here? Maybe cosine function है cos है 0.154. Why it's giving me here? A third degree, maybe radiant it is the value. Maybe cos x, sin a cos होगा. arc का cos हम फाइंड कर रहे हैं तो a cos फंक्शन से चेक करते हैं. a sorry a cos h. No, it should be y cos. Again 0.514. Let me check, not calculator. It is telling me cos 30 is cos 30 table जो है sin not this one, whatever it is guys, mathematical values. I don't want to invest much time in it. Likewise we can go and find multiple different models. So जितना भी power Python को मिल रहा है, for every use case guys, we have a different model, right? For example, I want to print the current date and time, right? For current date and time, we have one module called date and time. So if, this module again is coming from date. I want to just import date and time. It is technically available in date time module. This is the module name. And from this module, I want to import the library, which is called date time. So you press tab key, it will auto complete and will tell you date time. And maybe let me give it an alias as date. So from this, I want to print a date time. So maybe I want to see date time. Tell me what is the date now. So tell me current date is 2026. It is 7. Date is 16. Time is 7 5 49 58 seconds 59 microseconds. Now if I run it again and see again time change. 50 15 16 after 3 seconds, after once 3 seconds again. So these are all giving me the time here in this case, right? Now also one more thing I can do it, maybe I can store it in one more variable called now as a variable. This is the value stored. Now I'll printing the value here. I'm printing with the print keyword and technically finding print. So I want to print what I want to print, maybe current time. Current time, whatever current time we have it. So again inside this the now variable, I can, there's one function called as start strip time. So I have to technically strip the time in one specific format. So even though you press shift and tab, they tell you you decide which format you want to see the time. So I want to see the time in maybe percent symbol, we use it here, percent %h, maybe hours, what is the percent %m, months, then percent %s format. So there are hours, month, and time format, right? So I run this. So again, given one argument. So wide assignment strip time, maybe strip time it is, not strip time, strip time. Yeah. So current time is 15 20 30. राइट. सो ये वेरिएबल में स्टोर हुआ है, इसको हम यहाँ पे रन कर लेते हैं क्विकली साथ में ही. तो एवरी टाइम वी रन इट दे विल गिव अस द न्यू वैल्यू. सी, एंड नाउ इफ यू वांट टू रन इट विद व्हाइल लूप, तो व्हाइल लूप के साथ हम इसको कंटिन्यूअसली रन कर सकते हैं. व्हाइल लूप, इसमें हम कंडीशन लिख देते हैं ट्रू, इट विल रन इनफाइनाइट टाइम, इसमें कंडीशन लिख देते हैं इफ, और एक वेरिएबल बना देते हैं चॉइस इज इक्वल टू इंटीजर, एंड यहाँ पे इनपुट फंक्शन एंटरिंग वैल्यू, प्रेस 1 to exit. If choice is equal to 1, break, else do and run it. Run continuously and print the output. And see, enter choice. Maybe okay. So maybe I am telling 1 here, so it will break the loop. So again, first it is asking me choice. So let me do one thing. Let me run this code first. यहीं पे चॉइस ले लेते हैं क्विकली. तो अगर यहाँ पे चॉइस 1 होता है तो डू दिस, लेट मी राइट इन एलिफ कंडीशन, सो नथिंग बिग डील, nothing big deal. So I'll tell here elif choice equal to 2, right? It will run this particular code. So run it, choice is mine 2, run the code, to run the code, to run the code, to run the code, to run the code. So every time I press 2, they will run the code for me over here. See? So every second, when 1 millisecond I did twice. So every second this entire code and values are updating it over here. So every time I run this value, it becomes like a random value we are giving it over here, right? Like not a random value, it's like date and current date and time we are doing it over here. So just to make it more control, I am just pressing 1 to exit, right? So it is running infinite time. So just to make the while loop in a controlled way, I'm running it here with the 1 and 2 options over here. There's one more module, guys, in Python, which is technically called as random module. Maybe let me give the random module many alias name, maybe some short form RAN. Let's let it be. I will use random as it is. Maybe as R. Right. So what happened? I want to generate something. So what is the duty of random module? Random module, technically whatever you tell them, they will go and give you always a random integer. For example, I want to print a random integer. So in this R function, we have a random integer function. And this integer, every time you run this block of code, guys, it will always give you some different numbers. So what I want to run this with the help of for loop. So I tell for I in range of 0 to 20, print this, right? So take the value of random integer and print it away. So let me print it. So you can see first was 6, then 3, then 6, then 2, then 3, 7, 8, 3, 3, 1, 6, 6, 2, 2. There's no fixed pattern technically, guys, over here, right? In this case, there is no fixed pattern over here, right? Now, to what I want very, very useful. This code is very useful. So every time you run it, then see one time run it. So let me give 5 numbers only. So it will become more easy. So in 5 minutes of 8, 3, 9, 7, 5. One random integer they have generated. And every time next time I run it, so every random numbers. So very, very useful. We can maybe use this code in want to create some examples of, for example, like a gambling game I want to create it, right? So if I want to install any gambling game, so like a kind of a project we guys will build it. So it's like you guys versus computer. So like a project two, one project two. Just a name I'm giving it. It's a markdown cell. It's not a Python cell. So that's it. So just like a markdown, I made it here. right? So this is a project I want to create it. A project would be something like this. You guys have one uh, game. So you will compete with the kind of a robot or a random module, and robot will guess some number, you will guess the number. If you and robot has given the number, you will get a 1 point, right? So if robot wins, you get -1 point. So what I want technically using my random module, I want to create one very simple code here technically, which will take input from the user, and computer, which is technically my random module, it will also give some number. For example, computer has given one number, computer has guessed that this is 8, and human has given this is 7, right? So human got -1 point and computer got +1 point, right? Something like this I want to build it. And if human correct gives the correct answer, so they got +1 point and they got -1 point here. So something like this I want to build it, the logic of the code. And once I quickly press Q to quit the code, the entire code will close, and my entire total, it will tell you computer point and human point. Something like this I want to build it over here, right? So something like this, in this case I want. So for this, what I'll do, I'll take the input here. So just to quickly start writing the code, one. So let's go and build this particular project, right? What I want to first define one variable, which is technically human score is also 0, and computer score is also 0. So first time both the persons have a 0 score. Base condition, right? And one more thing, I have just import a random model, even though it's imported, just to quickly show you, I'm importing it over here, right? Now what I want to print something here. I simply print uh, double inverted commas inside it, maybe this, maybe I want to guess the number, maybe game kind of a thing. Some text I'm adding it here just to make it look beautiful. So every time you run this code, it will look something like this, guess the number. Some extra space, right? Once you run this, it will print something like this over here. And in this case, I want to print something, right? Maybe I want to print uh maybe guess a number, right? Guess a number between 1 and 10, just something like this. I'm printing it. So it will run and print guess the number between 1 and 10. Maybe some multiple lines you want it, so you can write multiple \n. So what happened? Two lines added it over here, right? So this is one thing I want to add it here. So print, it will print it over here. And one more line I'll print, press Q to exit. Right. So two things, two instructions from my side. \n new line to add it the new line here in this case, right? So यहाँ पे हमने दो information print कर दिए हैं, and if this is correct, I will run my while loop. So while loop, while the condition is true, what will happen? It will run the code over here. It will take the input from the user into one variable called user variable. So it will enter the input text. Input text, again, it is an integer. I am declaring it, or maybe let it be, I can check the text also over here. So input can be q also. So I'm not declaring it as an integer. So input function to take the input from the user input, and I'm entering it here. Enter your guess. Right? And maybe I will tell 1, 2, 10, right? Or maybe press Q to quit. So while I run this, I will wait for the input and enter it. Whenever somebody has pressed, if the user has entered the alphabet which is technically is in the lower केस, तो जो भी वैल्यू है इसको लोअर केस में कन्वर्ट कर लेते हैं. ये वैल्यू या लोअर केस में या अपर केस में आप कन्वर्ट कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो. अपर केस में सारी वैल्यूज को कन्वर्ट कर देंगे. अगर कभी यूजर ने क्यू प्रेस कर दिया है, इसका मतलब ब्रेक. इफ the user elif, sorry, not if, elif, else if the user has uh, not entered any digit, फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोई नंबर नहीं है, स्ट्रिंग एंटर कर रहा है, तो हम यहाँ पे नॉट कीवर्ड का यूज कर सकते हैं. तो नॉट, तो यूजर इज एक फंक्शन होता है इज डिजिट. सो अगर कोई पर्सन यहाँ पे इसके अपोजिट वैल्यू इज डिजिट ट्रू, तो आंसर आएगा नो. अगर डिजिट नहीं है तो क्या करना है, हम प्रिंट कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे. प्रिंट प्लीज enter a valid number, right? Maybe backslash n add कर लेते हैं यहाँ पे भी in this case. So what happened? It will please enter a valid number. It will tell us over here. And otherwise, I can tell don't break it. Continue. So one state keyword is called continue. It will continue the code running it. Again, they will take from the input. Again, they will run it. Again, they will check it. Everything you will enter it. वन वेरिएबल आई एम क्रिएटिंग इट ह्यूमन स्कोर या ह्यूमन गेस नाम से. तो ह्यूमन जो गेस कर रहा है वो इंटीजर है, और हम यहाँ पे यूजर को बोल देंगे, यूजर को कॉल कर देंगे. तो जो भी अगर इंटीजर ह्यूमन गेस करता है तो इसके को हमें चेक करना है. तो इफ कंडीशन लगा देंगे, इफ ह्यूमन गेस, सॉरी जी, इट इज जी नॉट क्यू, right? So if human guess is less than 1 or human guess is greater than 10 also. So ये भी कंडीशन लगानी होगी. 1 से छोटा नहीं चलेगा और 10 से ज्यादा नहीं चलेगा. अगर हम ये नहीं लगाएंगे ये कंडीशन, तो अगेन 100 200 भी यहाँ पे वैलिड रहेगा. अगर ये कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई हो तो इस दोनों में से कोई भी एक कंडीशन सेटिस्फाइड होती है तो प्रिंट कर देना. तो प्रिंट ऑलरेडी डन. प्रिंट, राइट, प्लीज एंटर a number between 1 to 10, something like this. It will print it over here. एक न्यू लाइन में प्रिंट कर देंगे, सेम लाइन में हो रहा है तो \n. So it will print something like this to us, and if after printing it, it will also continue, guys. So I'll write a continue keyword. So what are multiple conditions I'm checking it? Continue. That's it. राइट. सो अगर ये ह्यूमन गेस करता है, बट अब हम कंप्यूटर को गेस करवाएंगे, तो कंप्यूटर COM, कंप्यूटर गेस, राइट. कंप्यूटर गेस अगेन इज अ रैंडम वैल्यूज. सो यहाँ पे हम स्टोर कर देंगे इसकी वैल्यू. इट्स अ रैंडम रैंडम फंक्शन. इसमें रैंडम इंटीजर है, उसका हम डिटेल्स दे देंगे कि रैंडम फंक्शन में रैंडम इंटीजर 1 to 10 के बीच में कंप्यूटर गेस करेगा, राइट. अगर हम यहाँ पे प्रिंट कर देंगे क्विकली, प्रिंट समथिंग फॉर अस. सो अब यहाँ पे प्रिंट भी कर लेंगे कंप्यूटर गेस. My computer guess is again stored inside the variable called computer guess. Right? So this one thing I want to print it. Same way I want to human guess also. So print, maybe इसको f string लगा देते हैं और human number. इसको गेस की जगह हम कंप्यूटर नंबर दे देते हैं, और ह्यूमन नंबर, जस्ट अ नेम आई एम चेंजिंग इट, नथिंग बिग डील. So double curly bracket human guess. This is the code, right? And if human guess is equal to exactly equal to computer guess, then human का स्कोर को इंक्रीज कर देना. ह्यूमन स्कोर को इंक्रीज इट, पहले असाइन इट एंड इंक्रीज इट बाय 1, राइट. और प्रिंट करेक्ट ह्यूमन गेट 1 point. That's it. Maybe 1 point over here in this case. Else, if this condition is not satisfied, else if computer guess the correct, तो हर केस में कंप्यूटर का स्कोर या जो हमारा एक टूल है उसका स्कोर इंक्रीज हो जाएगा प्लस और असाइन बाय 1. सो इंक्रीजिंग प्रिंट कर देंगे सॉरी ह्यूमन कंप्यूटर won this, something like this, right? So there's one thing I am entering it over here, right? After this everything is done. Now I can tell the score की बारी है. तो हमारा जो प्रिंट कर देंगे कीवर्ड, तो प्रिंटेड I want to see the score, so every time run it and run the score. तो स्कोर जो स्कोर हमें भी यहाँ पे ह्यूमन का डाल देंगे, तो हाइफन 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 एक एरो बना देंगे. स्कोर किसका? ह्यूमन का. क्या स्कोर है? इट इज स्कोर्ड इज मे बी स्टोर्ड इन ह्यूमन स्कोर वेरिएबल, राइट. अगेन यहाँ पे कंप्यूटर स्कोर भी डाल देंगे, तो कंप्यूटर स्कोर is stored in the pipe symbol, curly bracket, computer score, right? So the score of mine is this one, human score, and computer score is this one. So I'm printing it over here after this in my case. And just to make it more visible, just I'm printing some extra hyphen so I can use my star. So this is one symbol, maybe hyphen I'm using it. Star इसको multiplied कर देंगे 40 से, तो हमें complete dash बन जाएगा यहाँ पे. Just I'm multiplying it to make it more clear. Maybe in the end I'll print the final score also. Print quickly backslash n, the escape sequence on the new line. I'm printing here maybe final score, something like this, right? So let me add backslash n here also, so new line they will give it. So print, I'm printing it. Print human score और AI score. So जो हमने यहाँ पे लिखा है इसी को लिख देते हैं, राइट. सो इसको बेटर फॉर्म में लिख देते हैं. एक ह्यूमन का ये है, इसको हम कट कर लेंगे यहाँ से, इसको डबल इनवर्टेड कॉमास. द स्कोर विल रन फ्रॉम हियर टू हियर, just different statement alto. So score computer or human. So let me remove this extra part. So human and computers, two different scores they are showing us here, right? After the score, then I write if one condition, if the human score is greater than computer score, I'll print maybe human wins. Maybe we can add some trophy also. So trophy, just to make it a little bit more appealing. So trophy emoji, something like this. You can search it. You can copy from here and can add it. So by chance humans will not win, guys. AI always only will win it over here. So we print human wins, then we give them this trophy. Else we will write a block of code. Yeah, maybe one more condition. If elif uh, computer score is greater than human score, which will eventually happen. So we'll see it will print the trophy goes to computer. So maybe computer wins. So I can find one more emoji, maybe of computer emoji. Again, looks nice. Copy, paste it here. Just to make it a little bit more interactive, guys, just adding it over here in this case so that you guys can quickly search it about it over here in this. So आप लोग भी एक बार इसको more appealing दिखेगा. I am not running this code, I am just writing this code from long. Else everything is right. If this block of code is right, so after this my else block of code will run. So somewhere is the error. One second, somewhere I did a mistake. One second. So this is also closed. This is also closed. And it will print it computer wins. So yeah, so this extra comma added, computer wins. Else I'll write a block of code. Else I'll tell print, it look like draw. That's it. So somewhere invalid syntax, elif computer score is greater than human. Uh, it's technically telling me, okay, sorry, we don't have to write it inside the while loop. This will run outside. This will run outside when we quit it. So sorry. सो फाइनल स्कोर का हम जो रन कर रहे हैं वो इस वाइल लूप में रन नहीं होगा. क्यों नहीं होगा? क्योंकि फाइनल स्कोर हम चेक कर रहे हैं इसका. सो अगेन टैप की एल्स, दैट्स इट. सो इफ आई रन इट नाउ, कंप्यूटर स्कोर इज ग्रेटर देन ह्यूमन स्कोर. One second. Sorry, I write a comma colon here. Right. So I am guessing one number. So again, good practice. Let me press Q to quit it. So invalid number, Q, enter. So why it is not taking break statement here? अपर केस में जो भी हम वैल्यू केस कर रहे हैं, this is Q, invalid number. Let me restart the kernel, guys. And if something like this happens where your code has some bug and try to write it, so just quickly restart the kernel. So in this case, maybe let me convert it to lowercase only. So I'm telling here uppercase instead of uppercase, let me go it to lowercase. Lower function, and if something is like exactly equal to the string called Q, then but before this print this line, copy this and just merging two cells technically and run it. So and see, enter your guess from 1 to 2 to quit it. So I said my first guess was maybe 1 to 10, I am selecting 9. So sorry, human computer won this time. That's what they're giving me the output. So human 0, computer 1. Right now score. So again, computer selected 7. And they're giving me 9 here, right? And now let me guess, maybe I'm guessing 6, enter. So again, computer won here, human got 0 points. So if I run maybe 3 here, so again, computer won, I got 0 point. So again, I run this code, maybe 1 here. So again, this code run, computer won, maybe sometime I will won it. Maybe 2, enter, still not won. Maybe 10, still not won. It was 5, maybe 5. So sorry, computer won. So I'm trying my best, but I'm not able to beat it. So you want to quit it, quit, enter. So it is not breaking actually. We can find it out here. This is the challenge. So if the user का जो input है वो Q है हमारे केस में, so it should be break here, but technically it's string Q. We can pass the value Q and it will break it. So it's not breaking. Enter a valid number. One second, why it is running enter a valid number? Is not keyword use किया है हमने यहाँ पे. So is not a digit. Okay, so that is why it is not able to exit it. So we have written not digit also here, but we can comment this also for now. So we are telling if it is not digit, tell this. But if it is Q, it should go and run it. So lower, sorry, this is a function. So we have to pass it as a function here. That might be the challenge in my case. So let me restart the kernel and rerun it. Let me check it again. This code will run. So let me press Q. It will break it. So draw. Right now, let me run it again. That's what the challenge was. It is a function, guys. So I forget the parenthesis. So 1 to 10 number starting the game with the computers. So I said 9. So again, computer won. I said again 10. So it has to go 8. It might be tell 5 now. So again, computer won. It has inducted 7. Maybe 5 now. Again, it has given 4, not 5. Again 4. It is given 1, not 4. Again 4. So you can see I got 1 point. Finally, after trying 15, 20 times, by just using a random module, this got one. So I've quit it and I want to quit it, press Q, I press Q, computer has won it. Right? It's just a kind of a small project we created it over here. Right. Again, multiple libraries, multiple tons of libraries. You guys can go and explore it. Those who know multiple other libraries, you guys can go and find a library called Streamlit, tkinter, Turtle, and can create the entire interface also of this game. Right. So this is what we had a plan for the day. So that's it, guys, for my side for the day. I hope you guys are marking your attendance on the daily basis of this. So you have to comment whatever you have learned it today about all the topics inside the live chat, and that you have to add it on the form. The form is the same. Every day our team will keep on appending it over there, so you guys can go and follow it. Okay. So any questions anybody want to ask, guys, you guys can put it into the chat, like live chat here. I'm checking the live chat. So any questions, if you has it, you guys can ask me also in the live chat here.